Good morning, everybody. This might be a little bit of a longer video, but I definitely want to go over what do I look for day trading every single day. So I'm usually up at 3 o'clock in the morning looking at stocks. Little history about myself. I spent the last 4 years of trying to figure out day trading, and it wasn't easy. I really didn't have a guidance, kind of like what I'm doing for you guys. I checked out Warrior Trading. I checked out Timothy Sykes, a bunch of gurus, paid for a bunch of their courses. I really didn't learn much, but I thought if I did their programs, it would change my life and I would be better at trading, and life is peachy and life's really good. But come to find out, I spent all this money on all these courses, and I really didn't learn more than I already kind of knew going into it. So I'm definitely new on YouTube. But I want to make a video on how I'm so consistent, like how I win so often but yet lose so little. And I'm not saying I don't lose, because I do, but I try to keep my risk really minimum. So every day I wake up, I'm looking at stocks either that ran the day before, or I'm pulling up Trade Zero right here. So hang on, let me bring it over. So I'll have the Trade Zero going, and it says top list, most active. So my scanner obviously isn't running until 6, and when it does start going, I don't get to look at it. So I wake up at 3 in the morning for the list. What is active today? What is going on today? What's the volume today? Blah blah blah. You get the gist. So once I go through that, I'll look at if I recognize any kind of pattern. If I recognize any kind of pattern, I'm like, all right. So if I recognize a pattern, I'm going to either say, well, this is either a good long or a good short, and this is the reason why I think this. And I go through my checklist. Number 1, it has to have at least 500,000 shares to 1 million shares of volume. That's number 1. It has to have some volume. I'm not saying it has to be extreme volume, but it has to have some volume. You want enough liquidity in there so when you get in and out of a trade, you can get in and out. If I'm long in a stock, or if I'm short in a stock, I'm looking at 2 different things. The key indicator, what I'm looking at, is the volume. So once I determined, hey, the volume's definitely coming in for a long, or there's really no volume, and it's definitely a short. That's the 2 indicators that I'm looking at. So I went live yesterday between like 2 and 3, and I was definitely calling these 2 stocks out. So what am I going to be looking for on Monday? I'm just going to use these 2 examples because these are the 2 stocks I'll probably be trading Monday morning at 3 o'clock. Actually, I'll probably have to get up at 2:50 so that everything's set up and ready to go at 3. So what I'm looking for on SGOC and TPST is a pattern. All I'm looking for is the same pattern, and this is how I'm so consistent. I don't care about the news. I don't care about what it does, anything. All I really care about is the pattern of that stock. So if we break down these 2 stocks, I gotta get that last one. Let's see. No. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. CARV. So, what I've been noticing the last couple weeks is these stocks I've been saying on a lot of my videos. What gives me the edge day trading these stocks versus anything else? What's going to separate me knowing what these stocks are going to do versus trading an indicator, VWAP, or somebody telling you to buy and somebody telling you to sell? So where I come in is I recognize patterns. That's my key. Like, that's my niche. That's how my brain works, is I recognize when tides turn, when patterns shift, what patterns are doing. Anything to do with patterns. That's what gets me the edge on the market. So, on CARV is typically a stock would go from, let's just say, $11 to $38, and then you see this huge crash. So after this huge crash, you're probably thinking, wow, this stock's done. Like, tomorrow it'll probably be back in the 12s, whatever. You get the gist. Last year, that's what they were. But now, it's totally different. So this stock crashed, and then Monday morning, this thing opened up at 2021. So pretty much right down here is where the stock opened. And then the stock ripped. And then the stock pulled back. And then it's definitely coming back up. So what do I think about, why do I have these other two stocks on my list right now? Here's where I come in. It's a pattern. So what is the pattern telling me right now? So the pattern tells me this stock went from $2 to $18 and had a pullback. So what would I expect the stock to do on Monday? I expect the stock to do exactly what CARV did. I expect Monday there to be a pop, just like CARV, and then a sell-off. TPST, same thing. A pop and a sell-off. So if that doesn't happen, if this thing does not pop in the morning, what does that tell me? That tells me it's going to come back to 9, it might consolidate for a day, and then it might run. But to put myself on the best odds, Monday morning I am long biased on this one, and I'm long biased on this one. Why is that? Because it's a pattern from CARV. That's all I look at. So every day I go into the market, I'm following the trends. So whatever the trend says is what I do. So if the trend says, hey, do this, do this, do this, that's what I'm going to do. Yesterday, if you go on the, I got on the mic at like 2 in the afternoon. It was around 2 until like 3. TPST was definitely ripping. And I said I would not be surprised if this stock sold off in the last hour. And I'm basing that off of what CARV did. And I said that about SGOC. I said I would not be surprised if this sells off. Why is that? Because that's what they're doing. You're putting yourself in the best situation. You're not trading any indicators. What you're trading is a pattern. So every day you wake up, you have to put yourself in the best scenario. The best scenario would be that these stocks are longs in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. Does that mean that can change? Absolutely. But that's how I separate myself from anybody out there is that I trade patterns. Anything I get into is based on a pattern. So that's how I'm so consistent every single day, is patterns. I'll make a different video on some long setups. I might have to wait till Monday so I can show you what these setups look like in real time. I'll replay this one and I'll replay this one. But I can highlight the pattern again. I highlighted this yesterday. It's this pattern. I've highlighted these 3 candlesticks. I've highlighted this in a bunch of my videos. These 3 candlesticks. It's the same pattern. 1, 2, 3. This is a famous long pattern. A famous long pattern. So what I trade every day is patterns. What is this? This is a pattern. What is this? This is a pattern. That's how I'm so consistent every single day, is because I only trade one thing, and it's patterns. I don't worry about anything else. It's just patterns. Whatever the pattern is showing me, that's what I'm going to do. And you have to be fast at cutting your loss, because if the pattern switches, you have to recognize, like, hey, this isn't doing what it's supposed to. You just get out of the way. But I know this video is a little long, but I want to make a video out there and how I'm consistent every single day, give you a little history about myself. Is every day I trade patterns. So this right here is a pattern. This right here is a pattern. This whole thing right here, it's a pattern. This is a pattern, and this is a pattern. So I expect both of these stocks to be up on Monday. And if they're not, it's not the end of the world. Like, then I wait for the consolidation and go from there. So, like I say, anything you take away from this is patterns. So that's where I differ on YouTube and anybody else out there. So every day I wake up, I trade patterns. I don't worry about the noise. I just trade what I trade. And just every day, rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. So, yeah. I'll make a different video on the long setups. And then it's watching the candles. So it's like, there's a lot of time that goes into this stuff that's behind the scenes, what I do, so I'm so consistent. Is watching a 1 hour candle, how does it react? Like, that'll definitely give you an edge. Yeah, it's honestly, it comes down to how much time you want to put into it. The more time you put into actually learning the right strategy and really focusing in your time and energy on one thing, that's where you become successful. So, like, I only focus my energy on patterns. That's it. I could care about anything else. I could care less about. So now this video is getting way too long, but this is how I trade consistently every single day. Is I base it on patterns, and what you're seeing highlighted is just a pattern. What the stock did today is just a pattern. The stock did today, it's just a pattern. What CRV did today, it's just a pattern. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Please hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, I want to throw this out there for anybody really struggling. You have to have a niche in the market. If you don't have a niche, or you're not doing the same thing every day, your results are going to vary. So you have to do the same thing every day until it gets boring, and then you just keep doing it again. So, till next time, traders. Peace.